let's mix it up again. I'm going full speed through the whole Bible here. Let's go to the New Testament. It's not just people thousands and thousands of years ago, it's people recently, or slightly more recently than several thousand years, who God can work through. One of my favourite guys in the Bible is Peter. He just makes me smile, and he makes me feel so much better as well. He's an uneducated bloke who catches fish. That's it. That's his purpose in life. Let's catch fish. Let's catch more fish so we can sell fish, so we can get a big boat, and then go and catch more fish. It's a great life. He's got it all planned out. He probably would have had issues with personal hygiene, spending so much time around fish. God clearly has a thing for smelly people. Not just smelly people. I can stop talking. But suddenly, he's 19 years old, and he finds himself following the Son of God. The Son of God becomes one of his closest friends. He's following Jesus around the countryside, and he's witnessing the most awesome stuff. Healings, raisings from the dead, casting out of demons. It's phenomenal. He's a fisherman, and suddenly he's going around with the Son of God. But that by itself is not enough. He may have been personally chosen to follow the Son of God, to learn from Christ himself. But God's purpose is even more than that alone. That would have been enough, but no. God's got something even bigger for him. Now, this guy, just humour me for a small tangent for a moment. I love this guy. He has a condition called foot in mouth. Take, for example, the Transfiguration. He's up a mountain with Jesus, James and John. And suddenly Jesus is having a conversation with two of the most phenomenal guys from the Old Testament. Two guys who he has heard about his entire life. Moses and Elijah. It's phenomenal. And he sat there, and Jesus, his mate, is talking to Moses and Elijah. And you know what? He feels the need he has to say something. He has to say something. He doesn't know what, but it's one of those moments where you know you shouldn't say something, but something's going to come out. Please, can I put up a hut for you, Moses and Elijah? It's genius. They're clearly from heaven. They're clearly phenomenal, come down from heaven, speaking with Jesus as the Son of God, so he offers to put them up a hut. I love it. It's just so utterly random, but God uses that moment. He uses this beautiful moment of foot in mouth to declare that this is my Son whom I love. Well, God's Son whom he loves. God can use these moments, and God's got this amazing purpose for Peter and his condition of foot in mouth. Peter later on, he's this scared man. He gets embarrassed. He's embarrassed to even say that he knows Jesus. He denies him 3 times. And yet, God can use him. On the day of Pentecost, you've got Peter standing in front of crowds of thousands of people saying, that was Jesus. He is raised from the dead. He is the Son of God. He is your Saviour. From being the guy who was scared to even admit that he knew him, God's turned it around, and suddenly he's proclaiming to thousands upon thousands of people. You read the book of Acts and it's phenomenal. You've got Peter walking out of prisons. He's kind of almost the founding father of the Christian faith. And Jesus himself calls him the rock of the church. Peter's purpose in life, God's purpose. In fact, I can't get high enough. God's purpose in life. So totally different, yet so totally amazing. Finally, how about a bloke who started off with the right family connections? He's got the good education. He probably doesn't smell. He's going places in his chosen career. He's getting noticed by the high and mighty leaders. This is a man with his plan laid out, and he's going for it. Paul said himself in the book of Philippians, he was born into a good tribe, Benjamin. He was circumcised at the right time. He's a Hebrew of Hebrews, tick. He's a high-flying Pharisee, tick. He's legalistic, tick. He's righteous, tick. His main aim was to persecute the church, tick. He's got this brilliant career laid out ahead of him. God, however, totally different plans. He's blinded. He gives up everything. He spends time in prison. He gets beaten up. He has to flee for his life on several occasions, and probably was killed for his beliefs. With all his education and upbringing, he had to make tents to earn enough money to live. This wasn't part of his plan, but it was most definitely part of God's plan. Paul was an amazing advocate of Jesus. He got out there and he spoke the truth. He changed the lives of more individuals than we could ever know. And 2,000 years on, we still study the stuff that he wrote down. God used Paul. It did not matter what he'd done before, for example, persecuting the church, being the guy behind the stoning to death of Stephen. God left that all behind. He used him where he was at. No matter what the background or the past misdemeanors, God could use him amazingly, beyond his wildest imaginings. He can do that with every single one of us. Jeremiah 29:11. He knows the plans he has for us, and they are plans to prosper and not to harm us. They are plans to give us a hope and a future. We may be in one place, we may have one path, but who knows what God's got in store for us? It may involve preaching to thousands, it may involve just changing the lives of the people around you at work. But God has this awesome plan for you. He wants to work it out. He wants to be involved, and he wants to take you to the place he wants you, which is far more amazing than anything we could ever possibly imagine or conceive.